What is up, everybody? So I was going to do this with my streaming setup, but I don't have my proper stand for my camera at the moment. I left it elsewhere, so unfortunately, I can't really do a more professional filming of this. But super stoked. So about a week ago, I was on Facebook and I keep seeing these ads for this thing called Fanhome. And basically, what Fanhome is it is a mail order subscription service for high quality models, and these are large scale models. Um, some of the stuff that they were advertising was like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, Kit from Knight Rider. I saw where at one point in time they had the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. They had the Enterprise D from Star Trek. Um, a couple of the Fast and Furious cars. I think they had Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. So some really neat looking stuff. And kind of got looking at their current line, and they had like Iron Man Mach 3, the one that you see in the films. They have R2D2 from Star Wars. They had a pre-order for ET. But the one that really stood out to me, and just because I am a huge fan of 80s science fiction, action films, things like that, is RoboCop. And having just played through RoboCop Rogue City on the PC, great game. Really reminded me how much I love the franchise, at least the first two films. RoboCop 3, we don't really talk about. But just really impressed. So got looking into it and read some reviews and everything. And overall, most of the reviews for this service are positive. There are a couple horror stories out there, but I think a lot of that has to do with people either not understanding the full price of this or how the subscription works, or um, there's some issues that if you don't pay with PayPal, sometimes your credit card doesn't go through, things like that. But I set it up to pay with PayPal, so that's all taken care of. I did sign up for the premium, which adds an extra $1.50 per stage, which comes out to an extra $6 a month um, on the boxes. And basically, what the premium does is it gets you, I think it's like a 20-inch diameter stand that says OCP, and it lights up, and it's got a nice mounting rail for Robo to stand on. So overall, the whole model, whenever it's done, I calculate it out with the stand and everything, it comes out to around $1,500. There's a few other things that they charge you for along the way. There are mainly these really nice thick binders to keep the instructions. I guess each instruction manual is a magazine of some sorts with some information about the movie and other things relating to the topic of the model. So in this case, it's robotics, cybernetics, things like that, that personally kind of interest me. And so, yes, it's an investment. Yes, it's going to take some time. RoboCop has 100 stages, and the way it works is you get the first two stages for $1.95. They ship them to you. Then the third stage is $7, and each additional stage I think is $12.95. And if you do the premium, they charge you $1.50 extra on top of that. So roughly, let's say $14.50, $15 per stage, somewhere in that area. And there are 100 stages. So after this box, I will be getting a box that has 4 stages in it instead of 2. And they will bill that for me every month. I think it comes out to 25 to 27 months, somewhere in there. So it's going to take almost 2 years for this to get done, which is a very long term commitment, but I am totally down for this, just from what I saw online. So this came Friday, which was yesterday, today's Saturday. I went ahead and I opened the box just because I am horrible at opening boxes on film, and because the very first thing they pack in this is personal information. And, no offense, but I don't need anybody knowing my home address and things like that. So that's all I did. I have not actually taken out the contents of the box, but I wanted to go ahead and unbox this here. So we will open this up. Okay. And then you have your packing material. Get that out of the way. Ooh. All right. So it looks like got some stuff in here. We got parts. That looks like the magazines and more parts. So pull these out here real quick. So the journey begins here. Build a legendary cyborg RoboCop. And basically, let's open this up. So just kind of a nice little introduction thing. It tells you how you can track your purchases and everything. If you go online, you can make an account and they actually tell you when your shipments are and things like that. They do go through a third-party service. From what I noticed, that hands it off to USPS. So it took about, I think it was like 4 or 5 days. It shipped from Illinois, and I believe the company is based out of Kansas for the U.S. division. So pretty realistic. That's the actual model. I think that's a production model, not the final, but it looks pretty slick there. So we got that. And then these are the packages. And I think the first two phases are a foot and a head. So that definitely looks like the foot. And I mean, look at the size of this thing, okay? So, I mean, here's my hand over that, and that's just a foot. And then this package is the head. It's pretty cool. Looks like it's got the skull. Comes with a little screwdriver, some screws. Looks like that's pretty cool. And then let's see what else we got here. Build a legendary cyborg. Yeah, so this just kind of goes over some of the specs of the actual model. You know, like step-by-step assembly, and this here shows the head. It's fully articulated, which is really, really cool. So like the fingers and the feet and all the joints move. His head moves. The gun actually pops out, and then his gun is made out of metal. Whenever he's done, he's going to be about 2 feet tall. Made out of metal and injection molded plastic parts. So this is all metal. The faceplate here is silicone. I have heard that whenever you take the helmet off, it doesn't actually show Murphy's full face, which is kind of a letdown. But, you know, I mean, RoboCop, you know, the helmet and the head design, this is the iconic part. This is what people remember. It's got the spike that comes out that he uses to access computers, and whenever he stabs Clarence Boddicker through the neck at the end. So that's pretty cool. And then that's the premium thing I was talking about. That slide up stand and all that. And, oh wow. What else? Oh yeah, the extras. So periodically throughout the build, they will send you extra stuff. So with RoboCop, you get these 3 posters here. You'll get a hat, t-shirt, and then they have a battery pack that they send you that's RoboCop branded. It's actually pretty nice. 2,600 milliamps per hour. I mean, you can charge a phone off of that pretty easily. Then this kind of goes over to magazines, things of that nature. And then some other RoboCop cool stuff in here. I think it'd be really cool if in the future they did Ed 209. That would be wicked. Or even RoboCop 2. And then they give you a unfolds out to a full-size poster here. And that's the actual model. photographed against the background. So that's pretty cool. And then I'll just go ahead and move this out of the way real quick. And then you have these. These are your magazines. And like I said, I think it's the third box. They give you a free binder. And then there's 2 or 3 other binders, and they charge you $8 a piece for them. But it's to store these in. Unfortunately, that looks like it's got a little rip damage. They kind of got busted here in the corners, but I'm not gonna complain about that. Paper is kind of hard to ship, especially whenever you don't put it in a Mylar sleeve. So, looks like it's got some information here about how the film got created and some of the ideas around the movie. You got some stills here talking about the script. These are the directions on how to do it. It tells you which part you're building, what parts you need. Pretty detailed. I mean, these are full color, very easy to follow. Everything's labeled real nice. Very good directions from what I can tell here. So that's to build the headpiece. That's the first stage. Then I'll show you some pictures here. Then it gets into some other stuff like robots in the ancient world. Transhumans. If you've never read about transhumans, this is fascinating stuff. This is actually real research that's being done. I think it started over in Russia, but they're trying to find a way to make real automatons that they can dump your consciousness in. So basically, you're immortal. It's scary in a way because it's kind of like, especially if you're religious or you're Christian, the idea of immortality kind of goes against the whole Christian dogma of you die and you transcend or whatever you happen to believe in. But it's fascinating. It's kind of a fascinating study. And Avatar 2045. So basically, the goal is that 2045 they will be able to transfer your consciousness into a container and program it into a hologram. So you can be like a Kiss avatar. Then a little bit more here, talking about like state-of-the-art robotic arms. The still here from the movie. So that's pretty cool. And then we'll get over here to the second magazine. Looks like they're going more looking for a director. I'm going to be honest with you. I saw RoboCop when I was like 6, 7. I rented it over. We used to have a little gas station that rented movies, and the clerk over there really didn't care what age you were. So I rented RoboCop, and I watched it with my mother, and she was pretty shocked that I was able to rent this film. But the thing about RoboCop is that Paul Verhoeven is he's such a sleaze director, but he tries to like the over the top violence is part of the satire of the whole entire film. It's his style. Everything he does is over the top. RoboCop, Total Recall, just ultra violent films. Basic Instinct, it's like it's mixing sex and violence. You have Showgirls, which is just pure sleaze, but it is Showgirls does have some artistic merit besides Elizabeth Berkley being naughty. But I loved it. The robots, the stop motion animation, the storyline was really good. And then as I watched it as a teenager and adult, it really kind of came along that RoboCop was a reflection on social economics in Detroit, because at the time, Detroit, which is where this is supposed to take place, was like the heart and soul of the automobile industry. And during the 80s when they started to outsource all that stuff. And, this is kind of talking about, a company that will stop at nothing to force gentrification on a whole entire city, and it really was a reflection of what they were fearing was going to happen to Detroit and to America in general as we started to outsource our industry to other countries. And we're kind of in that situation right now. So the more and more you watch it, and the older you get, and you start to realize where things are, it really does have a great story to it. I will say that I prefer RoboCop 2 to RoboCop 1. Not because of the story. I think RoboCop 1 has a better story, but RoboCop 2 has far, far better stop motion animation and fights and everything like that. My cat agrees if you can hear him. So this has got some more stuff in it. And then here, you're building the foot for RoboCop. And here again, very detailed directions. Looks like this has a spring that you put in there so it flexes, articulates. Nice. Then it shows you there what it's going to look like. And then ancient automata, talking about ancient automatons, things like that. Artificial meat, gross, but I'll probably give that a read too. So, but yeah, I'm not getting paid. I am not sponsored by these guys. I am paying for this service out of my own pocket. So any reviews and stuff I do are going to be 100% my own opinion. Hopefully, I'll be able to do my streaming setup a little bit better, and I can actually kind of show me putting these things together. But I will do a follow-up video and go over how I felt about the actual build and the quality of the product and everything like that. I will follow this up, but I will say I'm very excited. I'm really blown away just by the quality of this stuff. I mean, it looks amazing. It really does. That helmet, just having that detail on there, OCP Police 001. It's those little details that are going to make this really stand out. And I'm really hoping to make this like a centerpiece of a collection. I am a movie guy. I love 80s sci-fi and stuff like that. So to have this is really going to be cool. And I might try to like design kind of a movie room or something around it in the future. So anyway, like I said, this is the RoboCop model from Fanhome. These are stages 1 and 2. This is the introductory package, and I'm going to tell you, I am very, very pleased, and I'm very excited to get this started. So next video I do will be after I build the head and the foot. I'll tell you how my experience went, my honest opinion on the parts, how it all goes together, and there will be a lot more of these videos to come as I continue to build this thing. So until next time, guys, bye.